Hiya, pals. Hi, pals, and welcome to the Disneyland Paris Show. Here's your hosts, Lucy, Chris, and Hugh. Gosh. And now, Disneyland Paris News.
Pandora in Paris.
Fancy a pint, mate?
New technology and digital VP.
That was the news.
Do you know, when I worked in a pub, a really lovely teenage boy once walked in and went, "I'll have a pint, please."
Do you hear the echo today, by the way?
No.
Oh, I was doing it.
And bless him, I went through the whole a pint of what conversation with him before I asked for ID, but, you know, he was doomed from the beginning, was the poor lad, and he was so sweet.
I once had a teenager come through at Sainsbury's to try to buy some beer, and he put it down, and I went, "Oh yeah?" And he went, he sort of went, "Good afternoon."
In his most,
And I thought,
in his most mature way.
You gave it away there, mate. You gave it away.
Hey there, hi there, ho there, Disney pals. How are you doing? I'm liking that we've got some countdowns going on in the chats. We've got our very own countdown going on at the moment, haven't we, Huey? Oh, Hugh's doing a sound check here, so he's a little bit distracted. So, should we go straight into who we've got?
Oh, yeah, we can do, yeah.
Who are they?
All aboard, please. Today in the chat we have...
What do you think that sounds like in earphones? Is that...
I think it sounds amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Go on.
I listen back to it every week. It sounds nice.
We're currently rewatching the American Office and American Workplace, and Michael Scott's got one of these, but it's bigger and it made a really good noise, and I was like, oh. So just then I tried to blow it a bit softer, a bit more softly, but it's just cheap.
We used to have a bath toy one when we were kids. It was like a yellow boat, and it made that noise, and it was brilliant. I wish I could find it.
Did it have Mickey Mouse driving a train on the top, though?
No, it didn't. No.
Today in the chat, first in the chat was Mark with a Q, who we haven't seen for a while. So hello again to you, Mark. He says, finally made it to Alive again. Good to see you, Mark. Bob is here, and he's saying, congratulations to the Dunn family. But then saying,
and everyone else is like,
I'll let them announce it.
What did the Dunn family do?
And they're not here.
We don't know.
Who was your daddy, and what did he do? So yeah, we don't know, but congratulations, I'm sure are in order. We also have John is here. Hi, John, and Ross and Andrew, and we also have Kiva and Pamela and Moritz. Are we nearly there yet? Watching live from the Premier Inn at Heathrow.
Ooh.
So we'll see you there.
We're staying at a Premier Inn tomorrow night in Luton.
Nice.
Wits
Nice.
Wanderlust is here. And also we have Daisy and Scottish Claire. And also Pauline and Rachel. And who is Nate? Question mark. And Miriam is here, and Sarah. And that's everyone for now.
Ooh.
Oh, hang on. It's gone on to top. Let's just check.
That is everyone.
Yeah, that's everyone.
It's everyone.
See,
Yay!
For now.
I'm naive to think that we've got so many people in the chat that if I switch between top and live comments, there'll be some hidden ones, which there used to be actually, but now...
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference. It just shifts the warning about chat to a different place on the screen. Aaron's just turned up.
Hey, Aaron, you just made it. Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Hello. So we've got Sarah's got 81 days to Walt Disney World, 280 until DLP. Woohoo! And all the rest have slid off. 50 days to DLP. Moritz will be there at the end of the week on Friday. So exciting.
I just keep cheekily saying, I think we ought to be thinking about arranging a trip. And every time I do, Laura just goes, no. No.
Not today.
Not happening, bruv.
You need to do the Imperious Curse on her.
Or just book it.
I'll just book it. Do it. Give her that. What would she do if that was her Valentine's gift? If she opened a Valentine's card and it was tickets to annual passes for DLP.
The thing is, right, with everything that's going on in terms of the build in the Frozen Land at the moment, she just wants to wait for that to be done now, really.
Pamela says, don't want to be controversial, but I prefer the American Office. They're different.
I do.
They're just different.
Yeah.
I like them for different reasons.
Yeah, I like them both.
Yeah, I love them both, actually.
Equally, probably.
Yeah,
I like them
definitely.
both, but I am extremely susceptible to cringe comedy to the point where it physically hurts me to watch it sometimes. Like, I am a squirm in discomfort. Hugh loves it.
I love cringe comedy.
And I just think the American Office, they always put a little bit of sugar on your cereal, don't they?
There's a huge amount of heart in that.
Yeah.
Series, a huge amount of it.
Whereas there's no redeeming David Brent, really. You know, he's exactly what he's presented to be. Right. What now?
Well, I want a drink. I'm
I'm
allowed
gasping.
to do that because you haven't even filled my cup up today.
I know, that's because we've been hiding today now.
It's showtime! All together, your tiki 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 cup in your tiki 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 tiki
How you're
cup.
dancing
When
at
you
home.
made yourself a beverage, I'll drink it up from your tiki 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 cup.
Lucy, you didn't hold your cup up, your tiki cup. Chris announced today in the chat that he didn't have any fancy drinks, so we went to a well-known supermarket and we found these bottles of this stuff called Timbark. And it's
Invisible juice.
well, sorry, Lucy's saying that because it's green and we've got a green screen, but it's watermelon and apple. And we got these bottles, and then we realised it was it got like 8 times as much for the same price as 3 bottles in this big carton. So we're having this
bargain.
So I'll just shake it up a bit, and you can
and it's
help yourself there.
I'm not. It was in the international aisle, but I'm not sure what country it's from. If anyone is familiar with this brand, Timbark. It's obviously not a British brand because of where it was in the supermarket. You let us know. Oh, comes from Turkey.
Ah,
There we are.
there we go.
Who told us that? Mark Riley. Oh,
Careful.
Ooh.
Pay attention. Right, let's do some news so the people aren't just having to watch us
I
just
don't know. This is quite entertaining to
pour
watch.
some liquid. Right, first bit of news I've got for you
It
guys
really glugged then.
is a rumour from Walt Disney World News Today.
Oh, we love a rumour.
Yeah, it is just a rumour, but like an educated guess type of thing. Walt Disney World News Today
Sorry for any of you who need a toilet right now.
have speculated that The Lion King or Avatar are the most likely candidates to replace the Star Wars expansion in Walt Disney Studios Paris. Although this is apparently based on a rumour. Disney have announced Avatar is coming to Disneyland California, so do we think a third Pandora is likely?
It is more cost efficient for them to photocopy lands and send them over than do new ones. There is currently, to my knowledge, no Lion King lands, Pride lands. It would be the Pride lands, wouldn't it? That's what it would be.
Probably, yeah. Rhythms of the Pride's Land could then take place in the Pride's
The
Land.
rhythms of the Pride's lands.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
It is, isn't it? It's got a little bit of souriness to it as well.
It's
on
not
the
too
back end.
sweet,
So
so
that
you'll
would-
like it.
So that would mean that we got an original land if we got the Pride lands, which I
Yeah.
would definitely prefer.
Never going to happen,
Because,
bruv.
3 Pandoras would be a bit much, wouldn't it?
Here's the thing, right?
What's the thing?
We've been to Pandora in Animal Kingdom, and it is mint. We love it. I would be very happy to have that here. But what's happened is they've released this Way of Water film that has like crushed the box office. He now has like numbers 2 and 3 of the all-time.
Mm-hmm.
He's got like 3 in the top 5 all-time top selling films, hasn't he? James
Show
Cameron.
off.
Jimmy
I
C.
know. But I don't know if good selling films don't always translate to merch. I mean, you wouldn't want a Titanic land, would you? Titanic merch, would you? And
I don't know.
it's not just
The Mary
merch,
Rose
merch,
is
is
pretty
it?
cool
I
to go
mean,
and visit.
so I think they're like, this is making a lot of money. Let's double down on this, and I can see why they would do that. It makes sense, but it's that's my thoughts.
There's been a lot said recently about how well Disneyland Paris is doing, and it looks like we're getting a Frozen clone from Hong Kong. I'm assuming maybe not entirely a clone, but the ride's going to be the same. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
the ride will. The
The
footprint
other
won't,
rides,
but the ride will.
Another Teacups ride that's coming there. to my mind, it'd be nice to have something that was original there again, because we've already had Remy's stuff all stolen away from us as well. So
Yeah.
One sec. Did
What?
Bonnie brush her teeth?
Yeah, you told her to, and she did, and she scurried away, and she did it.
Okay, good. Right, I'm back in the room.
All the parents out there understand what just happened. Then
Mark's bringing up a point that has been bugging me is, about how can they put the Pride Lands next to Arundel in this climate? But but seriously, like a lot of these lands are dependent on it being hot. Like I think Pandora seems like it should be hot. Star Wars. Well, mind you, Star Wars. I'm thinking in my mind it's still Tatooine, Mos Eisley, because that's what I think it should be.
and they've got Ogre's
and
Cantina
that's
and
hot.
stuff.
And Pride Lands should be hot. So
Yeah.
Could you imagine a wet January in the Pride Lands?
Of the three of them, you'd struggle most with the Pride Lands.
It'd be like
Sub-Saharan
when
Africa.
It'd be like when
it
Scar's
ain't.
taken over, wouldn't it? Maybe they should just do that, just like for 6 months a year, flip it to like be miserable and like grey, because Circle of Life's been broken.
I am getting, I was going to say I'm getting more and more loyal and attached to Disneyland Paris, but I think I've always been more attached to Disneyland Paris, but I'm feeling a lot prouder of Disneyland Paris
Pride's lands
since the pandemic, with various changes that have happened across the oceans and the way that Paris have handled certain things. I'm feeling really, like patriotic for my park, as it were.
That's in France.
And I'm kind of like, no, we should set the tone. We should trailblaze. We should do something original. But of course, we all want to do that. We know that. I would be down with Wakanda. We watched Wakanda Forever last night. Sorry,
what do they do with this
Mark
now?
Riley just said combine Wakanda with the Pride Lands. Again, you've got the climate issue. And the side of the lake they're doing it at, they could connect it with Avengers Campus, couldn't they? As in, there could be a walking path to it.
Potentially, yeah. Although in the London Park thing or whatever, it's not called London Park, is it? That park thing isn't there at the bottom there? That's going to go between
Yeah.
Avengers Campus and whatever. What is it that Mufasa says to Simba? Everywhere the light touches.
Light touches.
But
Everything
there'd be no
touches.
light touching anywhere.
No, I know. The Cars Land in DCA is meant to be really good. Again, you got a climate thing there, and but
We like
I
a
think that'll be
jumbled up
good.
Pixar though in
said
Paris,
that?
don't we? We like Pixar to be all mixed up and all thrown in together here. So I can't imagine them suddenly taking a.
Well, I don't know. They did
Cars
Toy
Land
Story
separate.
Land and Ratatouille
Yeah, but it's all
Courtyard
in
and
exactly
things.
the same place.
It
and
is.
then there's classics IP appearing now for Frozen, which shouldn't be there. It should be in the main park, but that's another conversation. So it needs to be something different. It needs to be something different for me.
Well, the zoo. Another thing that's happened this week is they've announced 4 sequels. So this might give you a clue where they're putting the money. So you've got Toy Story 5.
Yeah, Toy Story flipping 5
We-
because they need that.
We might talk about that in a
It's
minute.
weird how they
all-
skipped from 3 to 5 though, without making a
Look,
number 4.
I'm fairly sure we've got a conversation there, so let's just save that for a second. But we've also got Frozen 3. We're already getting a Frozen Land. But then we've got Inside Out 2, which is a land nowhere, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
And
Zootopia.
Zootopia/Zootropolis
They could
2.
do a themed thing for Inside Out.
I think there's rides and areas. I know they've got like it's kind of like the swing ride kind of thing in DCA for Inside Out, but I don't think it's got a whole land anywhere. But it could be a land for Inside Out, or it could be a land for Zootopia, and I would love a land for Zootopia. And I think the way that we've done the studios now, it would fit.
I suggested that when we were coming up with an idea for an area, just before I realised there was one in where is it?
Shanghai,
In
but it's
Shanghai.
not opened yet. Is it? It's
But,
about to open.
My favourite idea from that was, aside from like any rides, would be the bit where what is it, a vole? What's the little character?
Oh yeah, it's a vole.
Where they
yeah.
have that whole little town where
Yeah.
there's a chase scene through, and that would just be like a caged off bit with just loads of stuff going on, and you could just stand around and just watch it, just watch all these little things moving around.
happening,
Yeah.
that'd be amazing.
like just as like a little, like without it being like a ride, just something to look at, which is what we like.
Are we nearly there yet? Says my 6-year-old daughter who won't go to sleep says there needs to be a Zootopia ride. Well, that's who needs to have the say in it. 6-year-olds who won't go to sleep. They're the target audience, so I agree with her.
Here's something. Speaking of attractions, new attractions, we watched Paige and Mr. Morrow checking out the new Tron in Florida.
Oh yeah,
and he's a large chap, and he was there kind of guiding larger guests through the process, and like it just seems that they got so carried away with this like.
He couldn't get on it the first time.
Whether or not they could.
With all
they
these
didn't think about whether or not they should.
All these brilliant ideas they've got, and then it seems like really late on, someone went, "Hang on a minute, people aren't going to fit on this ride." So there's actually like a test bit where you have to go up, and if you're worried you're not going to be able to fit on it, you have to go and sit on these things. And some people are going to like get all excited for Tron, and then realise they're not going to be able to fit on this ride.
Yeah.
I like. What are they doing?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. There is something in the back you can sit in. For people,
but there's an element of humiliation there, I would imagine, especially if you kind of on the borderline, as it were. Some people kind of like they'll know and they'll think, well, at least that allows me to ride it, that's fine. But there's going to be people who are really embarrassed when they're in a situation where they're on the bikes and the cast member has to say, sorry, the harness won't close, get off and go in that special car. That's going to be really embarrassing. And I'm just... It's icky. It's very, very icky. But apparently there was worried there was going to be this problem with Avatar, but like 99.9% of people fit on Flight of Passage, I think. I know theoretically you might not, but I've never heard anecdotally of anyone having to do the walk of shame off that.
I was just really surprised.
Yeah.
In this day and age, but I'm saying that, but in this day and age means a lot of the stuff that's been brought to the parks isn't like the sight lines is going out the window. They've got giant I'm talking about Florida here, like they've got massive buildings that just stick out like a sore thumb. There isn't the care. There's those awful badges that like finally they're getting rid of at Epcot.
Oh, I can't wait for next week.
Oh, man. I can't wait to complain.
Sarah Curry says it's the first ride in Walt Disney World where you have to put your stuff in lockers too.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah. Dumb family are here. Apparently they have news, don't they?
Oh, can I just say, because I know for a fact that we've got a 6-year-old listening who is 15 hours away from flying to Walt Disney World. It is the most magical place on earth, and you're going to have an amazing time.
It secret, was it?
And yes, they know.
Also, go to bed.
And Hugh's just moaning about things, and it's a wonderful place.
Yes.
Oh no, I'm moaning about things that like only like an old man like me would know or care about. Most people will just see the magic. But the magic was knocked out of me many years ago.
I knocked it out.
And he gets his kicks out of being
Good
miserable.
night, Olivia.
Good night, Olivia.
Tight.
Oh,
Dream
night,
about
Olivia.
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Bye.
We might see you there.
Aww.
Bye.
Aww.
So the Dunn family have arrived in the chat, and I know we're all desperate to know, why were you being congratulated from Bob Dunn's?
And whilst we're waiting for that response,
No pressure.
Scottish Claire said DLP would make a broccoli pizza in a heartbeat.
I'm not.
Oh,
this little redentia, by the way.
I'm not against a broccoli pizza if there was like maybe some chicken with it or something.
did you?
Congratulations, San Francisco! You ruined pizza.
I know you two saw this because one of you replied to it, but did you see the Disney Parks help tweet reply to that person who asked what time the carts shut?
No.
Did you? Or was it you who replied to it?
What?
Somebody replied to it on our account, and it wasn't me.
What? Explain again.
Somebody said,
Oh.
hello, DLP help. I was just wondering what time the food carts closed in Walt Disney Studios.
Yeah.
And the reply from DLP, help, I'm sorry, I'm laughing too much, was, I can't remember the name. Let's say it's Olivia because the name's in my head. Hi, Olivia. The food carts in Walt Disney Studios open and close at random hours. Please check your app. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I'm going to have to find it. It was
I
too
replied
perfect.
truth. It was me.
It was
Twitter.
you, yeah. Truth.
I
Brilliant.
saw, and again, we have to be careful with this because some people on some of these Facebook groups we go on could well be listening, but someone did say My mother is afraid of roller coasters. Which rides shouldn't she go on? And I wanted to put the roller coasters. I don't understand like what. I think you can tell if it's a roller coaster. Well, you know what? Yeah, there are some grey areas. Like there are some like soft roller coasters, and there's some gentle ones, but it just seemed like the obvious answer.
Okay, I have to do the full thing because it was beautiful. So I'm gonna say who it was. It was Laura, that Disney lover. Asked a question on Twitter. Does anyone know when the food stalls in the studios close? Like time of day? I swear they close off Ratatouille close to closing with the new show next week. I'm unsure. At Disneyland Paris, help. Disneyland Paris, help. Hello. The food stalls in our parks open and close randomly.
You never know when they're going to be open.
We look forward to welcome you at Disneyland Paris. Wishing you a lovely day. Manon.
Darren's news.
Yes.
His son, baby Darren, is expecting her first grandson. So huge congratulations.
What's baby Darren's baby going to be called then?
I don't know. We'll have to ask Darren and Maisie, won't we?
I think
Baby Darren the second.
Dazrod 3000. Dazrod 3000. That's based on someone we knew at uni.
That's lovely.
That's super exciting.
Oh, now you get to take the grandkids to Disneyland Paris.
Oh, whenever people announce that they're having children, my stock response is, do you know what my stock response is?
What? Yay, babies.
Yay, babies.
Yay,
yeah.
babies. I always see that on our group chats. Yay, babies.
I've sometimes said that in the past as well.
I always say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay,
I'm a bit more
babies.
like, now that I've had one, I know what to say, but I used to say like things that I thought were like kind of cool and quirky, like the bit cheeky, so I won't say it here. But
official congrats, that's your favourite.
But now I'll just be like, oh, lovely news, like something a bit more normal and adult.
Well, official congrats, Dunn family.
That's one of my pet hates, right? And listen, this is a public service announcement. If you've been privately told, don't tell anyone, but we're expecting, right? Don't be that person who, when they finally announce it officially on Facebook, puts official congrats as if to say, I knew before.
You must be grumpy.
Sorry.
No, I'm with him on this, and it's very uncool. That's what it is. It's just uncool to do that.
Official congrats.
Yeah, and it's the same with like engagements or any of those big announcements that people
Do you know
have.
who's the kind of person to say that? All right, I'll write it down.
Yeah.
You too.
That was a little joke just for us three.
In joke.
Okay.
Now, speaking of Tron, we have a bit of news, don't we?
Yes.
About our show. Do you think it's a good time to say it?
I-
Because we're completely derailed.
I
ourselves
really
anyway
do,
today.
because I don't know what we're talking
would
about
be
anymore.
apposite.
So,
Yes.
if you've tuned into our classics podcast recently, a new episode came out this week. Well, it wasn't really an episode; it was more of a news piece where I recorded just me on my own.
It was well edited.
Yeah,
It's fast paced.
I was quite pleased with that, actually. It's not a bad one. Not a bad one. Basically, we decided we goaded ourselves into in the Extra Magic Times over the last 2 weeks, starting up our film reviews again. So we're going to start doing that again. We're going to do it once a month, I think, probably to start off with.
Mm-hmm.
Probably no more regular than that. We're going to do it in the EMT show on the monthly date, which we'll give out each time.
That's
the first
our-
one being the 12th of March.
That's our Patreon show.
Our Patreon show straight after this. It will still be put out as a podcast, as it always has been.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll still be there and available to everyone afterwards. But if you're one of our Disney Street pals and you subscribe to us on Patreon, you can come and watch the show live. We're going to do a thing called 3-word review. So we'll get you all to give us a review in 3 words, and we can read some of those out. And you'll probably be able to get involved in deciding what films we do next as well, because I think that will become part of it.
It's
also.
a little bit like a book club, but it's a film club and it's a podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. It's coming back, and we're going to start with Tron.
Yeah, that's what one I wanted to tackle
Yeah.
because I like it.
I've
Spoiler.
I've not seen it for a long time.
Actually,
so I'm
I-
quite interested to see what we think of it.
I haven't seen it for 10 years, so
I've never seen
I
it.
might have gone off it. I've only seen it once about 10 years ago, and I was dazzled by it. And then I watched the second one. That was a mistake.
I'm also thinking, although we haven't fully discussed this yet, by the way, that I'm going to pull some kind of poll together somewhere where you can give the film a score in the week before we record it, and then we'll use the average. We'll pass the scores, if you will, and we'll use the average to give us a score out of 10 because we're not getting the kids involved this time.
No.
We may do in some episodes in the future if you think it's one that they'll watch, but on this occasion we're not.
Can we do a jingle where we sounds like we're eating with cutlery on crockery, and then we'll go, ooh, pass the scores, please. That sounds like the kind of jingle I'd make.
Yes, it does sound like your kind of jingle.
I'm going to do that.
This is delicious.
Oh dear.
Oh, I'm excited for this. It's only going to be a half an hour show.
Write down pass.
It'll be a 30-minute show moving forward because it's the only way we'll be able to fit it in, which means we're going to have to not talk quite so much as we normally do, which I think will mean we'll dedicate more time to the story and probably fly through the music and the visual effects. But we shall see what happens. We might just bung it all together and then just score it at the end.
If this sounds interesting, go and listen to our Classics podcast if you've never heard it, because there are some gems in there.
And if you want to join in our film club / book club that's for films, then join our Patreon for £3 a month. And you can help support the channel. And
I will say,
join in the film, join in the fun.
Stick with it, because episode 1 was slightly different, and if we don't mind me saying, I think we can all agree, this is health criticism, our history section was a little dry in that first episode.
It was still better than it was the first time we recorded it.
But after that...
I really don't think you needed to say that.
But what I'm saying is, after that, we all kind of chipped in on it, so it's a bit more lively.
Also, if you want a podcast where we just talk about how much we love every last little detail of every single film that we review, don't watch it, because you'll only want to give it a 1-star review, as somebody did. We talked about this last week, didn't we?
Yeah. And I'll get upset again.
Yeah, well, let's not get upset about it. But there's definitely a healthy dose of sass in there, and we say what we think. We generally love everything, but we definitely have criticism of things.
There's I'm just catching up with the chat before it disappears.
Ooh.
Dunn family have got a trip report in progress, including a trip up the Eiffel Tower, and they say they converted their brother and sister-in-law into Disney adults and both got the bug plus Loungefly and pins.
Good effort.
It happens, you see, even to those people resist, but we get them in the end. Aaron said, I hear the new podcast episode. The classic episode got a score of 100. Good job, Chris. And then Sarah said, if it got 100, do we still trust it? After last week's conversation.
Nice callback there.
Exactly. And Aaron pointed out, the Muppets Christmas Carol got 100, so it must be trustworthy.
Aaron, do try again to get that title exactly correct, because it's a sticking point. You were so close. Just try again.
Bob's accidentally insulted us all as well. He said the classic sows are absolutely brilliant.
He corrects it 2 comments down. We know what he's saying. Oink.
What? There's the news and stuff. Do we need to talk news?
Oh, yeah.
Hello?
We only did one bit. Go on, what else is going on in the
Was it
news?
just me, right? Those of you watching, Hugh and Lucy just literally switched off then, didn't they?
Aaron says the Muppets A Christmas Carol. Yes, correct. That's exactly what it's called.
The question mark's in the wrong place, Aaron.
There wasn't much news. So the second one was fancy a pint, mate, and that's parts of the royal pub are being revealed in the village.
Do you know why that is, though?
That's not good news, though.
Do you know why parts of it have been revealed?
Why?
Because it's a strip pub.
Nice, no. Because they needed all the bits of boarding and hoarding to go and put around various other places in the parks.
Yeah, that's true.
The Nautilus is completely overrun at the moment.
That's
not
like,
nice.
You know when you're trying to plug holes in something with your fingers and then you get the 11th hole and you have to decide which hole am I going to switch from there. That's what's going on.
Cafe Agrabar, is that what it's called?
Yes.
Is closing.
Permanently?
No, sorry, for a bit. Until like summer. And there's boarding up there as well. And it's just everywhere at the moment. Do you know, at the moment around here, around 37 Disney Street, especially down Goofy Lane and Donald Duck cul-de-sac, there's roadworks everywhere.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
And it just seems constant. And it's just, You get times like that at Disney, especially in the new year, in winter when they do a lot of the work. And
See, I
it just
think
seems like it's constant. Like,
if it's individual things like, so Small World's boarded up, but then you walk through Fantasyland and it's okay, but once you get to Adventureland, Cafe Agrabar's boarded up. I don't think that's as bad as when they were doing the Fantasia Gardens, and you had to walk past 100 metres of boards before you got to the park. That was a bit... That was worse in my mind. That was a bit depressing. And that's pretty much gone now, hasn't it? Well, no, it hasn't, because they're doing the hotel. I do think the whole place will just feel that little bit fresher when you don't have renovation going on at the front of the park like that.
So fresh and so clean. Last bit of news, if we're done with that, was... oh, no, we haven't. So the Royal Pub, it's been revealed a bit at a time, and just, you know, everyone who sees it is just like, ugh, look at the state of that. Just a white wall.
I don't think there's... Given the concept and the location and the architecture they've got to work with, I can't see me being very pleasantly surprised with it. I can't imagine myself going, do you know what? They actually did a really good job on that. But I also don't think it's going to, like, offend me. I think it's just going to be there. It's going to be something I walk past on the way to beautiful Sequoia Lodge.
And it's not permanent, is it?
Well,
Didn't we?
That was the implication, wasn't it? That
Yeah.
I think it's just a quick refurb.
While they decide what they're doing.
To see what happens. Which, it kind of begs the question, why? Why not leave it until they know what they're actually
We
As if they're
really
gonna-
liked Ludwig's when we went last time. We're like, this is cool.
Some people are really excited by it, by the way. Some people are looking
do
forward
that
to
instead of like make the snuggly duckling or something. You know, just do something with it. Maybe that's the plan. I don't know. And this is just a stopgap, but it's just like if anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, they've stripped Ludwig's down and they're just making it to look like a British pub. But like that, you know, to some people that sounds exotic and cool, but it looks awful, and it doesn't look like a nice old, you know, countryside pub. It looks like a town centre, disgusting one, like that opens early, and it's always got some horrible.
It's got the alkies
Here we
waiting
go.
outside it.
You get another one of these.
Yeah.
Oh, you must be
I don't know what I've done to
If you
set him
don't
off
like
today.
It, don't go there.
Thing is, what would be really nice is kind of modelled after, I can't remember what they called it, but the Rapunzel one on the cruise ships was lovely, wasn't it? The Rapunzel dining room.
Yeah. I can't remember what it's called. I could find out, but I'd have to watch my video.
That was really good. So they've got a bit of a blueprint there,
Someone
but
will tell us.
Miriam's just saying, in March we lose Crush's Coaster and Big Thunder Mountain for an undefined period of time, and that scares me for the crowds.
yeah, that's it. It's these for those who don't know. When you get a 45-minute wait, that means that you've got hundreds of people stood in line, and that is hundreds of people that aren't standing in line for anything else or milling around
That aren't queuing up at Hepcat Cafe.
getting in your way and
in
stuff.
front of me.
So it really sucks up capacity, and this is why you'll often find that they do not coincide the big rides refurbing, and they take it in turns and stuff. So it's quite unusual for them to do two big rides like that. Now, to be fair, they're in two different parks, but still there's a finite number of people between the two parks, and that's going to be a little bit brutal. I wonder how long for.
Amy says, where can I see a list of refurbs for DLP? On the website you can see them, can't
On
you?
the app as well.
On the app, yeah.
You have to, on the app, you have to go through day by day to see what's closed. Like, you can just it's like looking in the diary. So you have to kind of work out yourself how long the refurbs are and stuff. On the website,
I've always just gone to Google and searched DLP closures, and it'll show it. Usually it takes you to a website, either the actual website or somewhere like Magic Breaks, who also keep them up to date all the time. There's a lot of places do.
if you want to know, like, long term, when does this reopen so you can book for then, do it that way. If you've already booked for a certain week in August, you can just go on the app. Actually, I don't think it goes that far ahead. I think it only goes like 2 months ahead.
Yeah.
But you can just look and see what's closed when you're there to plan on the app.
I've got a question, by the way. Do you want me to ask a question? Shall I
Yes.
ask a question? Yeah. So as we've been talking about Rollercoaster a little bit, Whitney got in touch on Facebook or Instagram. I'm not sure which because it all comes to the same inbox. Hi, question for the show tonight. Of the roller coasters at DLP, how would you rank them in order of intensity and smoothness? I know they've been discussed individually on past episodes, but we go in 4 days, and I'm trying to decide which ones are worth trying on this trip. Our 6-year-old just grew tall enough for the Avengers coaster or Hyperspace Mountain, but I don't know which is the least jerky and intense.
This is a really, really, really good question, but we need to write down what the roller coasters
I was
are.
looking up. It's just Rapunzel's Royal Table,
yeah.
isn't it? that restaurant, Rapunzel's Royal
Oh,
Table.
yeah.
Yes.
I can just go-
Yes.
I'm just getting up a list of thrill rides so we can rank them.
In order of what?
Inter-
Intensity?
Intensity. and
Intensity
smoothness.
and smoothness.
Oh, hang on.
Well, I can tell you which is the least smooth straight off the top.
Oh, yeah.
Indie.
That's
Indie.
Indiana
It's a
Jones.
bone rattler. Intensity for Indie.
It's quite intense, but in a horrible way.
I'd give it a 4 out of 5 for intensity and a 5 out of 5 for bone rattle.
Yeah.
Would
So
you
a
agree?
1 out of 5 for smoothness then.
I suppose so. 1 out of 5 for smoothness.
Big Thunder Mountain is.
Well smooth.
Are you joking?
I think it's really slick. Yeah, I found it very smooth. Yeah.
I think it's a bit of a knee basher.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Right.
It's not intense though, is it?
No, it's not intense, but
There's
I find
there's a couple of up and downs that do get you going a bit, but
I think I've been bashed about a bit in Big Thunder Mountain.
So the Disneyland Paris app classes 8 rides as big thrill rides. One of them is Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, so we're going to remove that from the list. Another one is Star Tours, The Adventure Continues, so we'll remove that from the list. So we've left with 6.
Why are we removing? Oh yeah,
Because
not
it's roller coasters.
Right.
So we've got Flight Force, Big Thunder Mountain, Crushers Coaster, Indiana Jones. Oh, RC,
Indiana. I love how you say Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones.
RC Racer. Are we removing that or keeping it? Is that a roller
That's
coaster?
not a roller coaster.
Okay.
Is it? Well,
And Hyperspace Mountain. So there's
it probably
only
is-
5.
Probably is technically, but it's not, is it?
It's more like a pirate ship, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, you keep these scores. We'll agree on them. So Flight,
Will we?
Then you can take a picture of your scores that you've kept and tweet them.
and I want a working spreadsheet by the time I finish this list. So Flight Force in smoothness and intensity. Intensity, I'd put it quite high
I think it's a 5.
for intensity.
Like relatively speaking, comparatively speaking, in
It's-
Disneyland Paris.
It's the launch. The launch
Yeah.
is
The
something
launch is-
crazy.
Right, so because this is good for me because I haven't been on a lot of these rides, but I've been on some of them. I didn't find that too intense.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that maybe I like roller coasters.
Maybe.
Ooh.
That's
I
interesting.
Yeah.
think the 5 out of 5 should be, because Flight Force might not necessarily be a 5 out of 5, worldwide, but as far as the ones in the
We're
park
talking
go,
at DLP.
we need a benchmark, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's the most intense.
Disney parks are not
Okay.
roller coaster parks
Is
the way that things like Busch Gardens and Alton Towers are. This is not like Oblivion or Alton Towers or the Smiler or anything like that. But for by Disney standards, we'd give that a 5. And for smoothness,
I think it's quite smooth.
it's quite smooth.
It's-
Laura said it
it's-
throw her all over the place.
It's not the
so she found it a bit
smoothest.
much,
I'd
but
give it
It's quite sweeping
3.
in its movements, isn't it?
I thought it was personally. I thought it was really smooth.
Yeah.
My biggest problem was I pulled the blimmin' top down too tight.
Oh
So
yeah,
I was just kind of
that thing
Yeah.
where you breathe out and then it goes ka-junk on the intake, and then you go, I can't breathe.
It's only 3 minutes.
I think I'd give it a 2 for smoothness.
2.
That's low.
No, as in. Oh, I
If
see.
If it's a smooth,
You mean
So
4?
scale,
I mean
then
4. I mean 4.
I'd say 3.
I'll say 4.
Go on, give it 4 then.
4.
Phew, sorry. Right, Big Thunder Mountain. I don't think this is smooth, but I don't think it's intense either. I'd give it a 3 for intensity, or would you even give it a 2?
I'd say 3.
I'd say 3. Yeah, there's definitely a couple of bits where you go down then up and then
Yeah.
a bit of that
I think
And-
the worst
and
bit's
the
going
dark
under
bit
the
right at
river.
the end.
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
pretty intense. I think.
And it's very, very loud, which I think
Yes.
adds to the intensity.
But if you're
I-
comparing
yeah.
it to Avengers Flight Force, I would say it's a 3.
For smoothness. Oh, for
For
intensity.
intensity, I would have
Yeah.
said, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Smoothness.
Smoothosity.
smoothosity.
Now, I think this is a very rickety 2.
I think it's meant to be, though,
2
isn't
out
it?
of 5.
Yeah, I'd give that a 2.
It's
I
not
mean,
it's
that's
not a big
part of
different
its
platform,
charm.
is it?
I wouldn't let that put you off because that's part of its charm. Is you're meant to be on like a mine train. If it was all smooth and like a Tesla, it wouldn't be good, would it?
I think that's 2, and Indiana
Okay.
Jones is a 1 for
Okay.
smoothness.
Yeah. Now, I've never done Crusher's Coaster, and neither has Chris. I probably never will do Crusher's
It looks
Coaster.
well smooth on the ride throughs I've watched.
I did it, and I think Crusher's Coaster was quite smooth from what I remember. You spin around a lot.
But it looks quite glidey.
Yeah, it is quite glidey.
Yeah. So what are you going to give it? Because it's all down to you, this one now.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Intensity, I'd say 3. And smoothosity, I'd say 4.
Cool.
Right, that's put us back to Indiana.
But definitely worth saying, though, of Crusher's Coaster that a lot of people don't like the spinning. And that
No.
I think that's what
The guy
turns
next to me
people off it.
didn't. Big, like, muscular, strong-looking man. Big guy, strong man.
So that might add a bit of intensity for you if you
and he
don't
was
like that.
screaming his head off. It was really funny. I was laughing away.
This is why I won't do it. It's the spinning.
If you don't like the disco it's at the fairground,
No.
don't do it.
No, exactly. That's why I'm not going to do it.
Indiana Jones.
Have we done
Indiana.
Indiana Jones?
So 1 for smoothness, but intensity.
I see. Honestly, my main memory is the lack of smoothness, which makes it quite intense because it was like
It's
the whole
like a
time.
minute and 20 or something as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I haven't. I've watched a ride through of it and it looks rickety as hell.
I think it's a 5 because you just
It's
think,
a really tight loop as
You
well.
think
isn't
you're
it?
gonna die?
yeah, you think you're gonna die. I think it's a 5.
It's a really tight
Yeah.
loop. Every corner's really tight, and there's
So-
brick walls everywhere.
And you're very close to the rest of the track as
Yeah.
well. Like it's very,
Yeah.
it's very sort of knotted up
It's also
together.
the only open, apart from Big Thunder Mountain, it's the only open roller coaster, isn't it? And that in itself adds a bit of intensity. I
We
think.
went on it backwards in the rain in 2002
We did.
Mm.
or 2002. So Indiana Jones gets like maximum intensity and least smooth.
That's a
Just-
winner.
Just don't go on it. I mean, that's my advice.
No,
but
but
I mean, you do, don't you? Regularly when it's 5 minutes away.
If you don't mind any of that, definitely go on it. Try it out. You might disagree. You'd be wrong, but
And anyone who's like not a roller coaster person, I've been going to Disney parks for years, and I just don't go on these rides. Basically, I'm a bit of a one. However, there is a major exception. This is the king of all roller coasters in my mind. Star Wars Hyperspace Mountain.
I love this.
I
this
love it.
ride.
I've still not done it.
It is a bit much for me. I can only do it once on a holiday. I wouldn't ride it back to back.
It's pretty intense because it goes upside down.
I'd say it's a 5 and a. It's very smooth. It's very intense.
I'd say 4 for intensity. You say 5?
I think. Well, I'd say 5, but I am a wuss. You've got to do wuss factor.
I think it's a 4.
How does it compare to Flight Force?
It's about the
It's
same.
got a loop and a
It's about the same, but
coaster,
it's
isn't
more entertaining.
it? Okay. It's not as dark.
It's about the same, but it doesn't have. Well, you know, it does have a launch, doesn't it, at the start?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Of course
Oh, yeah.
it does, because it famously has a launch. But
Mm.
and do you know what? Maybe it is a 5 because that is pretty intense. That launch. Let's give it a 5. And
And
it's pretty smooth.
it's
so
mega smooth.
4, 5.
5. It's the king.
Well, hang on a
Well,
minute.
no, can we give it a 5 for the soundtrack as well?
A
'Cause that's what I'm
5,
really
a 5
doing.
suggests that it like kind of breezes around, but it's still a.
You don't even
Roller
notice.
coaster.
Oh,
it,
it's
isn't it?
still scary.
Let's give it a 4. Come on.
I mean, my legs really go to jelly afterwards. But I am an absolute wuss with these things. But it's just the combination of the soundtrack and the timing and the TIE fighter flying over your head as you do a loop de loop. And then the that's not a moon. The space station. Chris doesn't look impressed with this.
That's
at all.
no moon.
That's no moon. Mark Hamill tweeted that this week with the
That's
you know
not a moon. He
With the
tweeted.
spy balloon.
He tweeted,
the
"That's
spy
not a moon."
balloon that went over America. Mark Hamill retweeted and went, "That's no
What
moon."
did you say?
What?
What did you say?
I said he tweeted, "That's not a moon."
Oh.
I would love that. I would love him just to tweet
To
it,
get his
"That's
own
not a
quote
moon."
wrong. It's not his quote
That's not a
either.
moon.
Okay.
That's not a moon. This is a moon. Congratulations. If
I
you got
get
that reference.
very bullied on this show, guys. Is people gonna stick up for me?
No.
No.
Maybe someone in the chat will. Anyone? No. Next.
Is it worth just quickly mentioning which ones have loops and which ones don't?
Flight Force,
Yep.
loop.
Yep.
Big Thunder Mountain,
No loop.
Indiana Jones,
Jones.
loop.
It's got a corkscrew loop.
Crushers
hasn't it?
Coaster, no loop. But it has a sideways loop because you spin round, but no loop.
No loop.
Star Wars Hyperspace Mountain,
Loop.
Any more?
A loopity loop.
Have we run out?
I think that's
is that
all of them. Yeah, that's all of them.
There was 8, did you say? We've done 5.
Yeah.
We discounted 2. Is that right?
3 RC Racer.
Ah, that's right, okay. RC
So-
Racer's half a loop. Over
I
and over
enjoyed
again.
that, guys.
I'd imagine it's very smooth, RC Racer,
Yes, it is, yeah.
because it's just back and forward, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very smooth,
Yeah.
quite intense.
I
You feel like you're going over, don't you?
I want to do it again, but it's
From
all,
watching it, it looks like you feel like you're going
Yeah.
over.
That's another thing
There's
I
like-
won't do.
there's like, because like you get higher and higher. There's like 2 passes where you feel like you're about to go over, and then you come back down. And I've only done it once, but I enjoyed it. But there's always a massive queue, so I don't bother. Oh, I forgot to mention this earlier. Look what I made. Listeners, I've already tweeted this, so you can check it out on our Instagram. But I made an orange bird hammer bead. Oh, it's green screening again with the green bits. But you know hammer beads, the plastic beads that you... I found a picture of orange bird, and I found like a thing that converts it, and I made it into a little coaster, an orange bird
Nice.
coaster. I'm really pleased with
You
it.
should make the plans available.
Miriam says it's cute. And actually, the pattern it gave me, the body was too long for my square template, so I shortened the body, but I think it's cuter for it.
I saw him making it, and I love Orange Bird.
And she
And I said,
last night, I said, what am I going to do with this? And she said, you could give it to me, because you love me. And I went,
For Valentine's Day. I said that could be my Valentine's
and I
present.
said,
He went like this. He went, what are you going to do with it? And I went, nothing. I'll just keep it close to my heart because it'll be my Valentine's present. And he paused for a minute and he looked and he furrowed his brow and he went, I'll think about it.
I said, we'll see.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Totally. Anyway. I liked that question. Give us more of those kind of questions because we nerd out on that stuff.
We've got a bit of housekeeping to do because you two, I nearly swore then.
We booked it, packed it. And
Yeah.
and we're about to what?
You're about to leave, aren't you?
Yeah.
They're abandoning me, and next week it'll just be me, or it might be Lucas as well, but it'll just be me because I think there's a school training day on the Monday, so I think I might get Lucas to come and join me. But as you're aware, and as someone pointed out in the chat last week as well, we have quite a lot of trip reports outstanding, so I'm going to work through those. That's my plan next week, is to work through trip reports and do some of those. But also, I've got all the stuff ready to do a video on Premier Access. So I thought potentially next week or the week after I could do a bit of a chat about Premier Access as well, if you're interested, just to talk through my views on it and how it works and stuff and all that sort of nonsense. And then I might make that into a video, a vlog as well at some point, but I just thought it was some good content to talk about.
And haven't we still got about 90 trip reports to get through as well?
We've got 4 or 5, I think, at the moment, and others to come. But it's great, and we do want to work through them, but I'm just very conscious that we keep starting them with about 10 minutes to go of the show, and then we end up either not finishing them or rushing through them. So I don't want to jump in necessarily now and do one.
We will also probably do a live stream from Disney World at some point.
It won't be a Sunday,
But
though.
it won't be the Sunday because we're moving hotels that day. So
Moving house.
we won't. At 3 p.m, well, 3:30 p.m, we will be without place to do it. We will be without base. So just kind of, we'll probably decide in the morning, let's do it this afternoon. So just kind of keep your eyes on Twitter?
We might be busy. We might all be busy while you're off.
But if you miss it, we catch it. Catch it later.
I'm not sure I'll have time for it.
And you're fit.
It's bitter.
We'll try and make it
You just must be grumpy.
8:30 or 9 one night. So that'll mean it's 3:30 or 4 US time. So just keep your eyes on your YouTube subscriptions. If you're not subscribed,
Keep a weathered eye on the horizon.
subscribe.
Is that what you said?
Click the bell for notifications. And keep your eye on Twitter.
Oh, look. Are we nearly there yet? Is playing as well now. Would love to join you, Chris, but we'll be at Epcot. All right. Look.
Remind me where you're staying.
it's
Are we
just
nearly
mean.
there yet?
Miriam says, how long are you going for? We're going for a couple of weeks. And Sarah says, will you be vlogging, Lucy and Hugh? You know it, girl.
Yep. we will be vlogging. I haven't done. I've made all my excuses about this time, but Chris knows for real. Well, Hugh definitely knows. Chris knows for reals. It's not just a say, is it? I've had a time.
She has. She's earned this holiday.
I really have.
Still up, she has a horrible time, but she's earned it. I don't really. I really want you to have a very good time. Come back and tell us all about it.
But the fact that I haven't been able to make videos at home because of the ridiculous hours I've been working and stuff means that when I have this 2 weeks at Walt Disney World, I've no excuse and I can make videos, and I'm quite looking forward to making videos, be them in the hotel or around the park or something. So yes, we will. Might take me a while to edit them.
You still got some from last year.
I've still got some from last year that are unedited. Oh, All Stars Music and One Night at Royal Pacific. Oh, that's at Universal, isn't it? Ooh. Oh, that's good. That's exciting. We're starting off at Coronado. We're doing all the springs, starting off at Coronado Springs and finishing at Saratoga Springs.
Are you taking stickers with you?
We will take some stickers with us. See if you can find us. I don't think I can ask someone's name on the internet. I think you get in trouble. But are we nearly there yet? Watch out for us and we'll give you stickers if we see you.
The thing is, if we bump into you, you're going to have to tell us that you are we nearly there yet?
Those are the stickers. Mine's coming off. I need to put a new sticker on my phone because it's coming off.
You are. Set of 3. And those of you Patreon pals that haven't had your free stickers yet, I sent a message out this week, but I am planning on getting them sent out. I've had a hell of a time recently as well. I've just changed jobs, so I've just not had a lot of time to sort things out. But they will come to you eventually, I promise.
I feel like it's my turn now. In order to go on these 2-week holidays, I've had to do 3 weeks worth of work, my freelance work, leading up to it. But I finished early and I've had 2 days off, which is weird. If you'd have told me last week that I'd have done 4 pages for the Beano plus, and now I've got two days. That's why I made this orange bird. Yesterday I was like, I've got nothing to do. This is weird. So I made a orange bird coaster.
Go off, people,
Pamela, no, we're not staying in the tower. We're staying in the standard rooms. However, check-in and restaurants and things are in the tower, so there will probably be vlogging going on in the tower. I'm hoping as soon as we get there that we'll be able to go for dinner at Three Bridges Bar and Grill, because that looks amazing. But it is Valentine's Day, so it might be.
And it'll be like 11 p.m. to us.
It would be nice anyway.
Miriam's just said the stickers for all Patreons. I don't know if I can have one for being tier 1. Yes, they're there for all Patreons. I'm just really slack and I haven't sent them out to people. I haven't done a mail out since September, I don't think. So I will get round to it and I'll sort it, I promise. And those of you who've maybe stopped being Patreon pals, I will try and get them to you as well if you still want them. So they're there and available. Also, Miriam, I think you might have had your shout out, I can't remember, but anybody who's a new Patreon pal can also get a shout out on this here very show from Hugh, who used to do voices. We don't really do that much anymore, do we? We haven't done any voices.
Well, a lot came in the classics, didn't they?
The last few I've done have been awful. Really bad.
I've enjoyed that, though.
I would always choose Jeffrey the animator anyway.
Jeffrey the animator. I've said it once, I said it twice, Mr. Disney. You're the best in business, and I'll do anything for you, sir. Anything for you.
I love that guy. Sarah Sarah says we're staying at Pop Century for 10 nights and Universal Endless Summer for 4 nights.
Oh, nice.
Can I tell you, we've never been to Universal and we still don't have any immediate plans to go to Universal. I'm sure it'll happen one time, but we just don't. We always plan the holiday and then think, but we don't want to leave Disney.
You know what's worse than that, though, is that the number of people, the look in people's eyes when they say, oh, you're going to Disneyland Paris, so did you stop by Paris itself? I've never been into Paris itself.
Oh, no, I have.
I'm just not that bothered. To be honest. When we said, what's it called? La Vallée.
Yeah.
I was saying I like this because we're staying at Disney, but also, we're
like in real France.
We're like a real bit of France because we went to a Lille shopping centre and then we went to there, and it's not like a proper.
We camped in Brittany every summer as a kid.
It's like Milton Keynes, isn't it?
Probably 8 years in a row we camped in Brittany. So I feel like I've had my real Frenchness.
We've done Brittany and Normandy as well.
Thing is with Paris is all the famous bits are very, very spread out. And so and then in between you've got a lot of like real cityness, which is quite just like Leeds. You know what I mean? So
I remember
it's
being
not
a kid.
quite as romantic as you think it is. I like where Notre Dame is.
I remember as a kid being very excited to go into Paris because at the time I was going through this fixation with cars, but not like sports cars and stuff, just your average cars. I could spot any car. Like if I
a
saw
little
a car, I'd be
Citroen
like,
C5.
Vauxhall
that's a
Vectra.
C5, that's a Vectra. Oh, that's a
Yeah.
a Sierra.
It's a Citroen BX.
So we went to Paris and walked up the Champs-Élysées and went in all the car shops.
Oh yeah! Wow. What in them?
Yeah, actually went in all the car
Did you?
car shops. Yeah,
Pretended you were shopping for a
Yeah.
Porsche.
and that's when I first put my eyes on a Renault Twingo. And I thought they were the most wonderful little car I'd ever seen in my
A
life.
Renault Twingo.
We didn't get them in the UK at the time. They were only available
I think you're a bit
on
of a
the
Twingo.
continent.
What was I going to say? Oh,
Je ne sais
Montmartre.
pas.
Montmartre is good as well.
Uh-huh.
And also, I like inside of Notre Dame just blew my mind. And I wasn't going to go because, you know, you go to these places, you go around cathedrals and it's like, oh, look, another cathedral, nice stonework. There was something about it. And I think there was a choir singing as well. It absolutely blew my
It was
mind.
Aaron.
And yeah.
Aaron's choir.
And now it burnt down.
Miriam's asking a good question, which I'm not even sure we've discussed, have we? It's Miriam's question is: will you live stream from Walt Disney World next week or the week after?
Oh.
I suppose it should be the week after. Because Chris, are you going to do next week and then have a week off?
I'm definitely going to do next week, and I may do the week afterwards. If I do the week after, it'll be just me. But
Right.
I can probably have content for the week after, as I say, because I'll talk about whatever it is. But
We should probably do it the week after then.
you choose. If you're doing it on a Saturday or Monday, then I might have the Sunday off. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So it answers your question, Miriam. We don't know.
The thing is, there's two things. The second week we're in a better hotel that will but we'll just have a sort of a better setup to do it the second week. However, we're sharing a 2-bedroom apartment at that hotel with my mum and dad, who might just be knocking about. They don't understand the concept of live streams and such, to my knowledge. So it would be easier to do it when they were there, but then we'd be in a... I don't know.
Wait and
We'll
see.
Kiva says, I lived outside Paris for a year, so I feel like it's done. My Disney trips are strictly Disney, and I don't care who I'm with and what they want to see in central Paris. It's a straight up no.
Yes, Kiva.
Who's Nate says it is literal hell. Is this is this about something else? Hugh, from one curmudgeon to another, if you ever go to Paris, do not go to the top of the Eiffel Tower. It is literal hell.
Right, can we just pause for a moment before we carry on with this? But this is for all of you.
Oh, you must be grumpy.
Honestly. Really, guys.
Did
We've
I
hit
add
an
a bit of
all-time low
reverb
here.
to the end of that?
I don't know.
Did I make that one or did you? I think I made that.
You made that
I
one,
think
yeah.
I put a little bit of reverb on the end.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. There we go.
It's all about the production.
Yeah, if you want amazing views of Paris, the top of the Sacré-Cœur is 100 times better. That's the big place that's up in Montmartre, isn't it? That was my favourite bit, was going up there. And the rest of it is, like I say, it's a working city, is the
When
thing.
there's a moon.
So it's often not as romantic as you think it is. Go to Notre Dame.
Dame.
Don't go to the Eiffel Tower. Why
That
do you
isn't
want
a moon.
Why do you want to go to the Eiffel Tower? Don't go to the Eiffel Tower. You've seen it before. It's fine. Go to Notre Dame and that little area around there, and then go to Montmartre, and then go to Disneyland Paris. I was going to swear then as well.
Don't.
Right.
Don't swear, please.
Are we done? Are we
I
done?
can't be doing
Are we
beeps
done?
and stuff. We haven't
Oh,
given value
there's
for
a
money yet.
Dis-
There's still 2 minutes to go.
There's a Disney store on the Champs-Élysées. That's correct.
It's what they write about in the poems.
That's correct. That also, whenever I go to
You're
London,
on fire
Oxford
today, Hugh.
Street, which I would otherwise avoid like the plague, now seems to draw me to it because it's the only place I can get a Disney store.
Kiva says, not for much longer. Dun dun dun.
Miriam says I am grumpy a little bit for the price and transport. I don't think Paris is that great. Come to Reims, it's less expensive, and we have champagne, and it's an hour away from DLP.
Ah,
You follow the signs for that for quite a bit, don't you?
Yeah.
When you go into DLP.
That's the answer. I've been there, but not for a very long time. I don't remember it again. As a
We
kid.
got lost in Lille And it was one of the most traumatic hours of our collective lives,
Genuinely.
wasn't it? It was awful.
It was harrowing.
Because
Can
both
you-
our phones ran out of charge.
No. We just didn't, I didn't have signal.
Oh, you didn't have signal.
I
My
was
phone
pouring
was
it down.
my phone was
We were
out of
lost.
charge.
We were
It
gonna
was
miss the
pelting
ferry.
it to the point. You know when your windscreen wipers are going at that speed, that crazy speed, and you can't see anything. It was one-way systems everywhere. We couldn't find the motorway. We couldn't read the map, and the ferry was waiting for it. When we finally arrived at the port, it was literally waiting for us, and they closed the door behind us. It was just awful. So I never want to go to Lille again. It's probably a lovely
I turned my
place.
phone off, and when I turned it back on, I got signal.
Did I tell you about my trip
how
to
I
the
fixed
airport before I went to Milan?
Yes, you did.
I've never been so scared in my life.
What happened?
Honestly, if you're ever going to go and fly from Manchester to Paris,
Anyway.
and it's chucking it down as you go over the tops from Leeds, there's a big, massive puddle of water. I mean, I honestly and truthfully have never been so scared in my life. I was in the fast lane.
Did
going
you drive
past-
into
Is that, I was going to Scamaden Reservoir.
No.
Oh.
You know where the house is in the middle of in the central reservation,
Yeah.
the farm
Mm-hmm.
that's never been taken out there, that they built around. So as you drive past there, it was absolutely chucking it down, and I must have hit a puddle, and I couldn't see for like 4 seconds.
Oh no!
Literally
Oh, that's
could not
so
see a
terrifying
thing.
when you're driving.
And I didn't know if the cars in front had braked or not. I didn't know what had happened. And then I got about 400 feet further on from there, and there was a car on fire on the side of the road as well.
Oh,
It was quite the trip.
you did tell us at the time, but I'd forgotten how bad that was. Miriam saying the Champs-Elysees store is closing, so that's that.
That's what Kiva said.
Well, Kiva said not for much longer in an ominous way. Miriam spelt it out for us. Right.
Aaron, don't go on the M62 when you go to Manchester, and you'll be fine. Find another route. Don't go in the rain.
Unless it's
Unless
sunny.
it's dry.
Yeah, don't go in the rain.
Unless it's sunny, in which case it's one of the most beautiful motorways
It
you'll
is.
go on.
It
It's
is very
beautiful.
picaresque.
It is picturesque.
Highest motorway point in the country, in Europe
Yeah.
or something. No, not in Europe. That can't be right. It's very high.
And there's a farmhouse
It's very
that
high.
refused to be knocked down, and so they just built the 2 carriages either side of the farmhouse, which
It's
is
high.
very entertaining.
It's very high.
What's he called?
Oh, D2SO, K2SO.
K2SO.
It's high. It's very high.
No, Aaron already lives in Manchester. He'll be fine then, won't he? He'll be absolutely fine.
Alan Tudyk.
Right then, guys. I'm going to wrap this up. I'm just warning the people either side because sometimes buttons aren't ready to be pressed. Shall I go for it?
Yeah, what's happening next?
We're going on to the Patreon show where we will talk about things which will probably involve packing and Walt Disney World, because that's what we've been doing today, and maybe some other things.
Toy Story 5.
Toy
Wakanda
Story
Forever.
5.
And
Wakanda Forever. We watched that last night.
and how can people get in touch?
People, I don't know. How can people get in touch?
Mailbox at 37disneystreet.co.uk. You can send us an email if you've got trip reports or questions or any of that stuff, or you can come to us via Instagram or Facebook Messenger or Twitter as well. Just get in touch and tell us what you want to know.
Get
I
in
might not be able
touch.
to answer many questions over the next couple of weeks because I don't really
touch
know the
us.
answers, do I? Let's be honest. But yeah, back to you. You can close now.
Okay, thank you very much for listening tonight, guys. I've been Lucy. These have been the boys. Goodbye. Like some Trelawney in this one.